When something goes wrong with the voice, we typically tend to worry quite a lot. What if this is serious, especially if you've lost parts of your range or if you're having trouble, even within those first few moments, you go, oh no, do I actually have a voice injury? There is a lot of fear that, that goes around in the industry, and a lot of terms get thrown around. Oh, you have nodules. That is typically not the case. So let's look from a professional's point of view. Is it fatigue or is it something more serious? Well, here are three signs that you may have a voice injury. Now, this comes from Dr. Leslie Childs, otolaryngologist out of Texas. So, number one, have you been experiencing 2 weeks of persistent hoarseness, or have you been experiencing 2 weeks or more of a change in your voice production? Does your voice sound different than it does normally? And has this been going on over a period of 2 or more weeks? So that could indicate that it's something more than vocal fatigue. And number two, so your body's natural indicator that something is wrong is if it's been giving you pain. So there's a big difference between a little bit of discomfort and feeling tired and even a bit of scratchiness to pain. So if you're experiencing sharp pain or even an intense dull pain that keeps going on, then it might be worth getting this checked out. So number three, she says chronic tiredness. So vocal fatigue is really that sense of tiredness on the voice. But has this been going on a long time? And do you feel that it's just not getting better? So everything you've tried is not really helping you. So those are signs that you might have something a little bit more going on. Now, what do you do if you think that you have something else going on? So the first point of call is probably going to be just your local general practitioner, because you're going to need a referral. Now, it's very usual for big cities to have voice clinics. So these voice clinics can be excellent. They're seeing professional voice users day in, day out, and they really know their stuff. If you don't have one of those voice clinics that you can get into right away, or if you need to get somewhere really, really quickly, then I have heard some really great advice from Dr. Reena Gupta. She says to make sure to see a laryngologist or an otolaryngologist as your first port of call. And this is because you're probably going to have a scope done. So they'll be taking a camera down your nose, down your throat to have a look at what's going inside. And you really want someone with a very, very trained eye to be able to look at that scope and to make the best diagnosis. Then moving on from there, you may work with many, many professionals. So you may have heard these terms before, like an ear, nose, and throat doctor, a speech language therapist, or a speech language pathologist, or you might work with someone like a voice rehabilitation specialist. These are all great professionals. However, Dr. Gupta says make sure when you get that scope done that you have that really good just diagnostic look at it so that you know straight off the bat what it is, because sometimes voice injury presents in a certain way and there could be something else going on underneath the surface. So from what I understand, it's actually quite tricky to make the best diagnosis. So let's talk about, in the next lesson, what you should do now and how are you going to recover quicker from this if you have decided that it is voice fatigue you have and it's not something more serious.